So check out the following clip. This is an interview I conducted 3 years ago with Dr. Milan Costa on the subject of flow states, one of the things that I teach. And in this video, you'll notice that I'm wearing something that I no longer have any need for.
What we will be discussing today is flow states in particular, how and why they happen, how we can encourage them to happen more often.
So hopefully you did notice that in the video I was wearing glasses. And it suddenly struck me not so long ago when I met with a friend that I used to work with. He and I would both wear glasses in the office for screen work. And I remember I got to a stage when I was beginning to believe that I needed those glasses for reading as well. He's now wearing glasses, it seems, predominantly, as in away from the screen and in other activities as well. So that's why it struck me, because it was like a little ding, a little bell that went, you see, Dave, you must have done something right. Something has happened to heal or improve your eyesight. So what could it be? And then, of course, really quickly, it dawned on me. I know exactly what it is because I'd been reading anecdotal stories from others that have been using red light. This is the one I use. This is the cheapest one from a company called Red Light Rising, and I've had this now for 2.5 years or so, and I've been staring at it every day. And in the last probably 6 months, I consciously started to not only sit in front of it for 20 minutes, but have a brief period of staring at it. This was after I'd read a blog on their website informing me that you can indeed stare at it. It's not going to impact your eyes other than in a positive way. And then there was a testimonial from a lady that suggested that she had improved her vision through staring at this red light. Around about 2 years ago, I made a conscious decision not to heal my eyesight, but I just got really frustrated with going to an optician and being told that I needed to change my prescription each time. Every single time that I went to see them, it seemed that there was a progressive and fast decline in my eyesight. And I remember thinking at the time, I can't be bothered with this. I can't be bothered to keep buying new glasses or new lenses. So I just decided, right, I'm not going to wear them and see what happens. Now, of course, my eyesight didn't improve at that point, but neither did I worry about it at the time. And I just thought, well, I'm going to continue staring at the screen, and maybe if I just sort of improve my eyesight by bringing my eyes forwards and backwards on the screen, I began to sort of look out the window, which is something that I do now with red light, and I would stare off in the distance, focus on something, and then stare into the foreground and focus on something. I've lately discovered that actually that is one of the techniques that you can use to improve your eyesight. So you're constantly focusing on something in the near distance, and then you're deliberately focusing on something in the far distance, and you switch. Also now what I do when I'm in front of the red light is I start to move my eyes around in an infinity sign. So sort of moving them around like this, or I'll move them deliberately left and right. And I'll make sure therefore I'm looking up and looking down. So the red light is sort of how I perceive it, impacting all areas of my eyeball. I no longer need to wear glasses. Now, who knows whether this will continue? I don't know, but all I can tell you is that the glasses that I used to wear, I haven't touched for 2 years, and my eyesight has improved. I can sit quite comfortably in front of a screen. It used to be that if I went to the cinema, I'd have to take glasses because my eyes would begin to ache. I don't need to do that anymore. So what we know about red light is that it improves the quality of your skin. It's really good if you've got acne, if you've got eczema, if you've got psoriasis. It's also really good for reducing inflammation. So I've used it with scarring, for the scar, for example, when I had the tumor removed. So the one I've got is 620 frequency. I think you can then increase that to get something closer to infrared, and the higher up the frequency, the further it enters the body. So you can go below the epidermis and you can fight inflammation deeper into the body if you have something that's infrared. Again, these are sort of near infrared, and so they're much better for the top layer of the skin. We also know that it improves the function of the mitochondria, and I think this is where those that are researching it at the moment, and if you look online, there are a few studies out there on red light, and especially red light in the context of improving age-related macular degeneration, which is the which is something that most of us end up suffering. And this is where the retina, within the retina, you've got a part of it called the macula, and that starts to degenerate. It's all part of this, aging process, unfortunately. But there are signs that you can slow that process down with red light. And as I say, if you start doing a bit of a deep dive, you'll hear lots of anecdotal stories of people improving their eyesight with this red light. So it must be in part down to improving the function of your mitochondria. Remember, mitochondria is the energy of your cells. So if you work on practices that improve the mitochondria, or maybe even increase the mitochondria of your cells, then you can't go wrong. Now, there are people, of course, that sun gaze. Apparently, if you catch the sun at the beginning of the day and at the end of the day, which is how I use the sun anyway when I want to expose it to my skin. But apparently there are those, and I'm not suggesting that you do this, but apparently there are those that do recommend sun gazing. And that does mean staring at it, from what I understand. Now, does that mean that has the same effect? I don't know. But what I do know is this. From my perspective, I've improved my eyesight. I don't need to wear glasses anymore, and that's got to be a good thing. And it's so cheap, and all the research suggests it's not going to do you any harm. Now, it's not a quick fix. It's going to take a few months to see any benefits, I would assume, but it's got to be worth a go. I'm not affiliated with Red Light Rising. Another company is called Juve. There's lots of different companies out there. I do recommend Red Light Rising. They've got much bigger products as well. So as I said, that is the cheapest option, but there are lots of options out there for you. But if this works, you may as well give it a go, eh? And what I do is I combine my breath work or my meditation, mindfulness, whilst also sat in front of the red light. So for me, I'm not adding any extra time to my routine. This is a part of my routine. I use the red light as a means of comboing my practices. So keep an eye out for more videos from me. I'm going to try and keep these up on a regular basis. There's a lot of healing going on, and there's a lot of different, possibly odd practices that I may or may not bring to you. Anyway, bye for now.